Procrastination is more than just putting things off. It's a deeply emotional experience, often wrapped in layers of guilt and self-doubt. You've probably felt it before, that sinking feeling after avoiding a task you promised yourself you'd tackle. The guilt creeps in, whispering, "Why can't you just get it together?" And instead of motivating you to act, it leaves you feeling overwhelmed and stuck, making it even harder to move forward. This is the guilt procrastination cycle, and it's one of the most frustrating loops to break free from. But here's the thing, you can break free. It starts with understanding what's really happening beneath the surface and learning to approach procrastination with a new perspective, one rooted in self-compassion and growth. Let's take a closer look at guilt. At first glance, it might seem like a motivator, a way to push yourself into action. But guilt is a heavy emotion, and instead of inspiring change, it often paralyzes us. Psychologically, guilt activates the brain's stress response, narrowing your focus and making it harder to think clearly or take the first step. Spiritually, guilt disconnects you from your inner peace, trapping you in a cycle of self-judgment. It's like trying to climb a mountain while carrying a backpack full of rocks. The harder you try to push through, the heavier it feels. But what if we could see procrastination differently? What if instead of viewing it as a failure, we saw it as a message? Sometimes procrastination isn't laziness, it's a signal. It might be your mind's way of saying, "I'm overwhelmed," or "I need more clarity." By pausing to ask yourself why you're procrastinating, you shift from judgment to curiosity. This small change in perspective can be transformative. Now let's talk about guilt and how to release it. Forgiveness is a powerful tool, one that often gets overlooked in our journey to productivity. Forgiving yourself for procrastinating isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about recognizing that you're human. Say it with me. I forgive myself for not doing this sooner. I'm doing my best, and that's enough. When you let go of guilt, you free up emotional and mental space to take meaningful action. Once you've released guilt, the next step is to take action, but not in a way that feels overwhelming. One of the biggest barriers to breaking the cycle of procrastination is the sheer size of the task. The key is to start small. If you're procrastinating on writing a report, for example, don't aim to finish the whole thing. Just open the document and write the title. That's it. Taking even the smallest step creates momentum, which builds confidence and motivates you to keep going. Psychologically, this triggers the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and reinforcing the habit of action. Spiritually, it aligns you with the energy of progress and flow. To sustain this momentum, it's important to cultivate what I like to call compassionate discipline. Instead of forcing yourself to act out of obligation, frame your tasks as acts of self-care. For example, rather than saying, "I have to finish this now," try saying, "I choose to work on this because it aligns with my goals and values." This shift transforms discipline from something punitive into something empowering. Supporting yourself spiritually can also make a huge difference. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, or journaling can help you stay grounded and connected to your inner self. When guilt or overwhelm begins to creep in, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and reset. Visualize yourself releasing guilt and embracing peace. You might also find affirmations helpful, statements like, "I trust my timing and my process," or "I am capable and ready to move forward." These simple phrases can rewire your mindset and bring you back into alignment with your goals. Finally, remember to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every step you take, every moment of effort, is a victory. Reflecting on your progress not only builds confidence, but also reminds you of your inherent ability to grow and adapt. Breaking free from the guilt cycle of procrastination isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming kinder to yourself. When you replace guilt with compassion, curiosity, and small, consistent actions, you create a new cycle, one of growth, peace, and forward motion. So, the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, pause. Forgive yourself. Start small. And remember, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. What about you? Have you ever felt stuck in the guilt procrastination loop? Share your story or your first small step in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're breaking free.